You've just tuned in to the greatest podcast in the world right now, today, this second. It's And the Wife with Anastasia. Wouldn't it be weird if the guy at the restaurant was... What are you pointing at?
Did you put the dog in the cage?
No.
Oh, she just put herself to bed? What time is
she's
it?
Tired. It's 10.
She's tired.
She's tired from that whole day of not doing shit.
Sometimes when you don't do stuff all day, it really takes it out of you. That's for sure. Gets so tired. You know, I've just been laying on the sofa and I'm just so tired.
Just need to move from the sofa to my bed and just pass out.
Ugh. So exhausting.
It's late for her.
Not really. It's just that we're not able to play with her right now. She's like, well, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Show you.
Probably.
Yeah, you don't get to pet me again today. I'm sorry, the guy at the restaurant.
The guy that said he was from the LA Times?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be funny if he wasn't actually working for the LA Times and he just used that as an excuse to take pictures of random people? Oh.
That would be really creepy.
Because I asked him, I was like, so we were sitting there and he was like, I forgot what we started talking about. And he's like, oh, I work for the LA Times. I'm doing a story about the city and, you know, do you mind if I take pictures with you in the background? You know, is that okay? And I was like, yeah, do I need to sign some kind of release or something? Mm-hmm. He's like, no. As long as you said it's okay. And then, you know, we started talking whatever. And I was like, what if he doesn't really work for the LA Times? I mean,
did you have to sign something?
No. He said I didn't have to.
Okay.
But normally you have to sign a release saying it's okay to
I
show your likeness. Well, unless he blurs me out.
They're not gonna blur you. I don't think it's that serious.
Yeah.
I don't think I really want it to be in a picture though. So
I just had the back of your head, so it was fine.
Not really. He was taking pictures from straight at me. It was the back of your head. After the food came, it was me and the kids.
Oh no, he was taking pictures of the guy serving.
Yeah, and then the guy serving. So it was the guy serving. He's the chef.
He's the chef, and he was serving too.
Okay.
The other guy was just like his helper. The guy that took our order.
Yeah, he kind of took an order.
Oh, no, he didn't actually take the order.
He kind of took the drink order, and he didn't get that right. He could not get Little Frank's Coke right. It took him 3 tries.
What did he bring out first?
He didn't bring out anything the 2 times that he came. He just like, oh, what did you want again? And then he came back. He's like, was that Sprite? And I was like, no, Coke. He's like, oh, yeah, Coke.
He was probably on something.
Everybody's on something. Everybody's fucked up all the time. You know, drugs. People love the drugs. Mm-hmm. You know, here's a theory I have. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna fix the world right now. You ready?
Real quick. I'm gonna fix the whole world. Number 1 of fixing the whole world: make all drugs legal. Make them all legal. All of them. A lot of people say that.
It will fix fucking everything. Make it all legal.
I just read a story.
Competitively priced.
About a city, I think it was Chicago.
I'm from Chicago.
Yeah. Chicago. The guy, the mayor, maybe it was Illinois. I have to look it up. Yeah, here it is. Illinois governor pardons more than 11,000 marijuana convictions to ring in 2020.
And everybody gets to go home. Yay!
I was like, dude. Because, so I saw part of his news conference what do they call it? Do they call it a news conference? Anyways.
Does it matter?
Well, he was basically announcing the fact that he was doing this, mm-hmm. and he's like, I don't think it's right for all these. He's like, I'm trying to stop the injustice of all these perpetrated crimes, that were created around marijuana to get people in jail, basically. And he's like, no. These people are in jail for marijuana. It's all legal now, so there's no reason for them to be in jail anymore.
Yeah.
11,000 people he's pardoning. I was like, this dude's going to get himself in trouble.
In trouble with whom, exactly?
You know who.
I don't know who. Who?
The rest of the government.
Well, it takes somebody. Someone has to be the hero.
Somebody has to start it.
My father used to always say that it only takes one, and there's always one. He's the one. Maybe he is Neo.
He is Neo.
He's the one. They should also legalize prostitution. It's supposedly the oldest job in the world.
The oldest profession?
Profession, yeah. Job, profession, whatever word you want to use. Still the same thing. And if it were legal, there wouldn't be all these people doing seedy, sneaky stuff. Maybe it wouldn't, I don't even think it would happen as much anymore. Because I think part of the thrill of being with a prostitute could be the sneaky, seedy part of it.
See, why gotta be seedy?
Because it is. Because you go to some weird, hourly hotel, or you're in the back of a car, or behind a bush or something.
Behind a bush, yeah.
In a bush, behind a bush, yeah.
So this is the quote that kind of stood out. He says, "We want black and brown people. We want people who've been left out and left behind to have a real opportunity to not only benefit from this new industry, but to create new millionaires in the black community, in the Latino community, all across this state," he said, heralding his hope that the new law will diversify the legal cannabis industry.
So I have to ask this because I don't have any idea. What is the race of this governor?
I think he was Italian. Let's see. J.B. Pritzker is his name.
Pritzker.
J.B. Pritzker.
Sounds like a cookie.
What?
Would you like a hot, fresh J.B. Pritzker?
Yeah, sounds like something you get in this new legal. Can I get a J.B. Pritzker? What is that? Well, you have to ask. You don't know how much it is. You have to ask. You can't afford it. He's a Democrat.
Of course. Democrats are now like the people trying to do all the good and noble things. It's weird because it was the opposite before in the past. And now it's like they mean totally different things than they did in the past.
He's Jewish.
Okay. So, he's part of the diaspora in a way. He has no real homeland.
He's from Atherton, California.
Oh, he's Californian. Okay. All these things, they help. Okay. Well, that's good. It's good somebody's trying to do something good.
Yeah, he was saying, he wants to make it so people don't have this criminal background. So that have more opportunity to have jobs and stuff.
Okay. So dadgummit! I can't not say it. I can't not say it. I'm gonna try not to say it. I'm not gonna 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 say it. It's hard not to say it. Now that I'm trying not to say it, all I can think about is saying that. Which do you pick? Love, wealth, or beauty? If you were looking for a mate, okay? And you can either have someone who loves you, someone who's wealthy, or someone who's beautiful. You can only have one of those three. Which one would you pick?
Well, I'm already beautiful, so.
No, you don't get the things. It's not a wish list for you. It's for someone that you pick as a mate.
Why do I have to pick one or the other?
Honey, because that's the way it works sometimes. So either the person loves you and you know that they love you.
Okay.
Or.
Does that mean the person has to be ugly?
No, they don't have to be ugly. I didn't say ugly. It can be plain. Plain a plain person, an average looking person, and a beautiful person are different from each other.
I pick love.
You pick love over wealth and beauty?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting. Maybe because you're married to someone plain. Who's
far
who's
from
plain and poor.
You're far from plain.
Okay. Because I was talking about this with somebody. I don't remember who it is now. And they were saying that they rather have someone beautiful.
Why?
And because they want somebody they like looking at. I don't know. Then having someone who loves them and that loves you. But I think everyone's not looking for the same thing. Some people are looking for someone to just be with them and show off.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't care how they feel about them. And other people don't care if they're with them for their money. So they don't care about the whole wealth. Some people don't care if you love them.
That's not really a good question, because what if you're already wealthy? I mean, it's not like you're going to give away your wealth to pick a person.
No,
that loves you.
I'm not saying you give it up. Like, it's a choice. If you had the choice of those three.
Overall, it's not really a good question, because you can already have two of those three things.
You could have one of those things.
Yeah, you can.
You could already be with someone who's really beautiful, who hates your guts, and has no money. Mm-hmm. But you could be with someone who has lots of money.
You can build wealth and you can build love.
Is it really that easy to build love and wealth?
Why not?
Do you think so?
Why not?
It's not that easy for most people to build wealth.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that easy for most people to build love either. I think sometimes in relationships, you build the opposite of love. You might start off thinking you're absolutely head over heels in love with someone.
Well, that's if the person is petty and selfish.
Not necessarily. Things change. People change. And what you want out of life changes. So your priorities change. Like, you love that person, and all of a sudden you find out that, in their pastime, when they're not with you, or you find out they're into some freaky shit that you're just not going to be down with. Or they're not into freaky shit. For instance, here's one.
For instance.
Okay, Seth. And that was on purpose. That was just for you. So this couple on this show, another one of those housewife shows, saying that her and her husband they've been married for a long time, and they do not do oral sex on each other at all. There's no oral sex in their relationship.
They might as well
this face you're making.
Kill themselves.
They're not into it. Not everybody's into that.
They probably cheat on each other then. Or they're not doing it good. They're doing it bad on purpose.
Now, everybody's into different stuff. So for you, okay, no more oral sex for you.
Why?
Would you then feel differently about your relationship with me?
Why would that stop?
Would you have
your mouth is broken?
I wake up one day, I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm not into it. Gross. So would it change your feelings for me a little bit?
Absolutely.
Okay, then. So it's not has nothing to do with petty,
but it's
or
not
anything like that.
It's not like one day I asked for it and you said no, and then I could just move on with my life. But if it's something that's been happening since we've been together, and you just decide one day I'm not doing it anymore, then my feelings are gonna change.
So your love can change.
But that's like me saying, Anna,
your feelings can change.
You know what, Anna? You can no longer have any cookies or sweets at all starting today, and that's just gonna be like that.
Are you just gonna slap them on my hand or something?
No, it's just you're not allowed to have it anymore.
You can't stop me.
So you're gonna cheat on the demand?
I'm fucking gonna do that. Yes.
Yeah. So then,
you're not keeping my sweets away from me. But maybe it'll be good if you slap those sweets out of my hand.
But you understand what I'm saying? It's something that you've had and enjoyed to like a degree where you've had euphoria. Like it's great. It's one of the best things in the world in your life. And
no, I feel like that about my fucking Pinterest right now. Oh my God, it's killing me. It's killing me.
You'll be all right.
I'm not all right. Like, I didn't realize how much I depended, how addicted
Yeah, I know you were.
to it.
And I kept telling you about it.
Oh my God, I miss it so much. I'm like a fiending for Pinterest. Like fiending hard. Like I got to go out and buy like a stack of magazines or something. Like I need to like scratch this itch.
You have like
ugh.
9,000 magazines in the...
They're so fucking old. I want some new shit.
Doesn't matter. I want some new shit. I need it in my veins. I got to rub my arm all loud.
It's killing me. I didn't even do anything to them.
Why are they being like that?
Why are they being like this?
Why is this free service fucking me over?
Why are they fucking me over? It's not free, Frank. You know, they play lots of commercials. They're trying to get me to buy stuff.
You're not paying for it.
I'm not paying. I'm paying
So
for
it's
it
free.
with my time.
Yeah, you just look away and then come back when the commercial's
No, they
over.
play. What happens is they know if you linger on something, and so if you linger on something, or if you make the mistake of pinning a product, they'll show it to you over and over and over and over and over and over and over it.
Yeah,
I guess trying to
got your number.
like glamour boy me by sticking it in my head where it won't go away.
Yeah.
But yes, I miss it so much. So, yes, I understand. You have not fixed my situation with Pinterest. It doesn't mean I'm going to leave you, right? So if I stop,
that's not the same.
No, but sometimes stuff happens in relationships that you don't enjoy anymore, and you miss so much, or you don't like being with that person because all of a sudden, let's say, for instance, in your relationship, one person decides to become a health nut or decides not to be one. So, that's
not that big of a deal.
It is that big of a deal. If you
have different...
No, Frank, if you're
meals.
super fucking fit and you, for your entire relationship with your partner, you go out and run together, you work out together, you enjoy your healthy meals together, you cook together, whatever, to make sure you have this healthy lifestyle. You take your dogs for walks 10 times a day and your baby 10 times a day. And then all of a sudden your partner is like, you know what? I'm not feeling this anymore. Fuck this. I'm going to let myself go. I don't want to work out anymore. I don't want to get up at the crack of dawn before work and work out. I'm not going out in the cold.
I don't think somebody that's addicted to working out.
No, not everybody's addicted.
How do you know what
sometimes people are into it and then they're not.
How do you know
and
what happens?
sometimes people are like flip-flop.
How do you know what happens?
I know what happens. I know some people have done it. So I know what happens.
They just decided to stop working out or to stop eating healthy? Because that's an addiction. So
it's not an addiction. It's a choice. Some people are addicted and they work out many hours of the day, way too much, and where it's unhealthy for them, actually. They are heavily addicted, like I am to Pinterest. And other people, they work out because they want to look a certain way. And they do it for that reason, and that reason only.
But I don't think that just goes away.
It does. Like, sometimes you'll see, I don't know if you even pay attention to men that way. Men who used to be muscular, their arms look really different after they don't work out anymore because they don't have the muscles there anymore. And so at some point they were muscular and fit. And then they decide one day, because of whatever, life gets in the way, whatever, they're not like that anymore. You think their wife looks at them like, oh, when I married you, you were fucking hard.
That's
and
any
hot.
Relationship.
That's not any relationship. That's some relationships. You were hard and hot, and you had a head full of hair, and now you're bald and tubby. That's not what I want anymore.
And the wife is still perfect?
No, it's sometimes.
Like she started out perfect, I'm just saying, and she was still perfect?
Or, okay, let's say it's the wife. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. I'm just saying.
I don't think that happens.
You don't think it happens?
No.
Like one day you look at I'm not going to pick a gender.
No.
At your mate and say, you know what? You don't look the way I think you like you used to look.
That's
you
different.
Don't think
I'm
so?
talking about the people that have worked out together for 20 years.
Okay.
And one decides to stop doing it.
Well, if, like you were saying that you want to start working out. Right?
I said I was thinking about bulking up.
Okay.
I was going to do a Dr. Dre.
If you start bulking up and become a Dr. Dre, you don't think you're going to look at me and be like, you should start doing that too.
No, I like the way you look.
But do you really think after you change your lifestyle that you would be totally fine with me not changing mine.
Yes.
You are a liar. And this is how...
I'm not a liar.
Okay, Frank. You remember your George. And George...
That's George.
Yeah,
that's not me.
that's everybody. And I told you.
That's not everybody.
George was overweight.
I'm not like that.
George and his wife are both overweight, right?
Yeah.
And then he took that fin stuff and lost all that weight.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened? She did not. She was still overweight. They broke up.
And then he gained all the weight back.
Yeah, but he was already married. He was already married to somebody else before he gained all that weight back. He was cheating with her friend before he gained all that weight back.
Well, that's him. That's not me.
But that's what
I'm
happened.
not talking about
And I
losing
told
weight.
you, I said, if she doesn't lose weight, since he started losing weight, they're going to break up. And you're like, whatever, yeah. And I was right.
Maybe he was just an asshole. Maybe she was just some bitch, and
that's what
they just didn't get along. They were newlyweds.
They weren't that. Well, they had been married for a couple, 2 or 3 years.
Like
no, it was more than that.
Whatever. It was a short period of time. Maybe they just weren't into each other anymore.
Frank, it's what happened.
We've been together for 32 years or 31 years.
It's what happens.
I never said anything about losing weight, number one.
No, but that's not.
I just said I was going to bulk up.
I feel like
I was going to work on my chest and arms and shoulders.
I feel like you're making. This is not about you and me.
You keep putting my name into this shit.
I just want your
don't
opinion.
Put my name. My opinion
about
is
how you feel about it.
I'm not like that. So don't bring me into it. None of this stuff applies to me because I'm not that person.
I wonder if George thought he was that person.
No, because he was in his 20s. He doesn't know anything. They're all a bunch of fucking idiots.
But that's what I'm saying, Frank, is that people have things that happen in their relationships that they're not even aware that they're doing. They're not aware that it's happening. They are, if other people hear or see it, like I always can pick out people that are getting divorced. I know they're getting divorced before they know it. Before they know they're splitting up. I can always see it from the conversations that I have with them. The conversations I have with wives who I know are going to end up divorced. I'm like,
they're going to get left.
You are fucking. It's over. Like,
well, you can't start a relationship doing stuff and then all of a sudden one day just stop doing it, unless there's an understanding. Unless everybody agrees.
You sit down one day. What kind of understanding? You sit down one day. Okay, hun.
Well, like if it's like okay, you know, the wife's been working for 25 years, mm-hmm. and she has a great job, making a really good amount of money, and she just decides one day, you know what, I'm going to stop working
and be a housewife. Yeah,
and I'm just going to be a housewife. And there was no real discussion. There wasn't a long.
Well, if there is a discussion,
there wasn't a plan,
and you just don't agree with it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There wasn't a real discussion then.
That is a real discussion.
No, I'm talking about like a plan. Like, okay, if you're gonna quit your job, that you make $100,000, we're not making that $100,000 anymore.
Yeah.
And we're just working on my $100,000. You can't just go from making $200,000 a year as a couple with kids and then cut that shit in half and everybody be okay with it.
So why is the alternative to that? It's like, oh, could you please pick up some work? Why is it I just got to go? Fuck this. Why is that?
Or just like make a transition, like,
mm-hmm.
Maybe work part-time.
Mm-hmm.
And then, or say like, okay, maybe in 2 years you do it. Like you can't just come home one day and be like, oh, I'm going to quit my job. Okay. I'm going to be a housewife now. There's got to be a transition or a plan. You can't, that's life changing. Mm-hmm. Your lifestyle is done.
Yeah.
At that point. You can't do that. Or the husband or mm-hmm. whoever. It doesn't matter which one is doing it, but you can't make those type of life decisions and just not have a plan or a transition.
Okay, but well, let's talk about appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think men discuss with their wives, oh, I'm losing my hair? How do you feel about it?
She sees that shit happening.
Yeah. Okay. And then she just has to decide, do I care if he's losing his hair?
Okay.
If you see a pot belly for me, I don't know how I feel like that pot, but I'll just deal with it. There's no discussion. Those are just things that happen.
Then he married a shallow woman, and she needs to get kicked to the curb anyway. You can't be with some shallow bitch.
Why not?
Because you're in a relationship.
Relationships means you don't have to care about.
You're married. No. That's not what I'm saying. She knew what she was getting into when they got together. And if the male pattern baldness shows up in the 20s, in the early 20s.
Not always.
Yes, always.
Okay.
It's not a surprise. Okay. She's seen that shit happening. So if she felt like it was a deal breaker in the 20s, you see that shit starting, that means this motherfucker's going to be bald in 5 to 10 years.
So those aren't discussions. What about you see your wife's ass start to spread? Do you have a discussion?
Like for money or?
No. I think that's a serious discussion that would have to happen.
No. So
no,
this,
you don't say.
You got to think about the bigger picture. So
ass.
Yeah, I'm responding to what you're saying.
Okay.
Is if everybody in the relationship, the couple, if they're not working out since they started the relationship, then unless they're fucking morons, they know that things are going to start getting bigger and dropping and all that shit. So there's not going to be a fucking surprise there.
Okay, but then one of the people,
none of that shit is surprises.
In the couple decides, oh, you know what? I don't like the way I look anymore, and I'm going to start working out. I'm going to change what I eat. And their mate doesn't follow their lead.
Then that's their choice.
You're saying it's their
There's
choice.
shallow people
I'm
everywhere.
telling you, it's not. It's their choice, and I think what happens is like when you realize. I think sometimes when you're in a couple and you're both schlubs together or whatever, when one of them starts to not be a schlub anymore, unschlub, de-schlub.
Well, I mean, it usually happens when people start getting older.
Yeah, but then like, you feel like you have options all of a sudden. I think that's what happens. It's like, oh, now that I look like this, people look at me and they talk to me differently than they did before. And I'm like sexy to people, and not just my mate. And so I think that's what really happens. It's not their shallowness as a person. It's that they now all of a sudden feel like, oh, I could get that. Which before you may have not have felt like you could get anything. And so it's a mental game with yourself.
No, it goes back to being shallow. That's shallow. It's a mental game with yourself. No, that means that they were already okay with looking for other options before. That means that was in the plan.
That was the plan?
That was the plan the whole time.
Yes and no.
I'm just thinking logically here.
No, it's not logically. I think you're overly you're trying to make it more logical than it is. Human beings, though, Frank, are very simple creatures. And the more, since I tend to like to study people and how they behave, when you look at human behavior and simple creatures that humans are, I don't think we logically think about every step that we make and everything that we do. I think we react to stimulus around us, and that's what happens. I think that's why I have this theory now that marriage is dead, because there's so much stimulus out there for our simple brains to react to. Everybody knows about probably more than one dating site app that they can use, even if they've never used it or even thought about using it. Can you name any?
J-Date? I mean,
there's a lot of them.
Cowboy, was it the cowboy one?
I don't know. But there's niche ones, and then there's just the regular ones.
Plenty of fish?
Yeah, I know that
was telling me about that.
Okay, that you can swipe through people, right?
Oh, that's Tinder?
Tinder, and then there's Grindr. I think that's the gay one. Gay guys. But all those things exist, and you know about it, and I know about it, even though we've never used them before. And let's say all of a sudden, you know that, oh, I'm feeling good about myself. Even if you don't look 100% hotter than you did before, you just all of a sudden feel good about yourself.
And that person isn't really in love, and they shouldn't be married anyways.
No, it has nothing to do with it, though. I told you, it's that humans are so dumb that now that you feel good about yourself and you go out in the world with confidence, even if you lost 5 pounds and you're still,
5 pounds?
Yeah.
You just took a big shit.
Yeah. So you lost 5 pounds.
Noticeable.
But it's not noticeable, but mentally in your mind, you're feeling good about yourself. You're like, oh, hey, My face looks a little different. If 5 pounds, it starts with your face. So my face looks different. I've lost a little weight. Oh, I'm feeling good about myself. And you go out in the world all happy and confident. And then people look at you and you're like, hey, he, she, they.
Are you speaking from experience?
Looking at me. Yes. They were looking at me. And now all of a sudden it's like, people look at me now? I exist? Because I think a lot of the time as you go through the world feeling like you don't exist, except for when you get home to some person that you also have to fight with from time to time and deal with and cook for and clean for or work for.
That just means that you were looking for that anyways.
No, it doesn't.
It does,
Frank,
man.
That
just means that was always in the back of your head.
Nope. No. I'm telling you. Because like I had this whole conversation with my mom about I have some thing in my head won't let me commit crimes, okay? I'm very against it. Even simple, minor ones. Mm-hmm. I mean, sometimes I wish I could, but I can't.
But if you lose 5 pounds, you decide it's time to cheat?
No, that's what I'm trying to say to you. No. I know that it doesn't mean that I want to cheat. I don't want to cheat on you because I can't. Even if I wanted to, I couldn't.
But so you're making my point.
No, I don't want to. I think about, like, I think we talked about this before, that I don't want to do anything that would jeopardize our relationship or hurt you.
Exactly.
There's nothing that I would want to do, nothing in the world that would make me do that. No matter how attractive or interesting this other person is, it would hurt you.
That's why people shouldn't get married until they're much older.
No, I don't think it has to do with age. I felt like this, Frank, I felt like this about you when I first met you.
Yeah, but okay, so
and I was a child.
What I'm saying,
I was a child bride.
You know, when we were young, we didn't live our lives yet, so we didn't know anything about being in a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
Or living with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, what to do if you get attention from a stranger.
I got attention from guys all the time.
No, what to do about it.
No, but from the time.
Let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, or what to do if you're in a long-term relationship and you're starting to get attention from strangers, like stuff like that. And we didn't really have people to talk to about it either. So what you're saying gets to my point where in your head you never had the thing where you said, okay, it's okay to do this.
Yeah, it's not okay for me.
Yeah.
But I think for most people it is okay.
Well, you're not most people. You're not like a therapist that talks to people about this every day. So you don't really have a lot of experience with, you know, understanding how people feel about when they're making changes in their lives and they start getting attention and what they're doing about it. And stuff like that.
No, I just observe other people and what happens in their lives when those things happen in their lives.
Well, you also have to kind of be looking for that attention too.
Maybe.
That's what what I'm saying. Like let's say I do stop talking out of my ass and I decide to start bulking up one day.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I get bigger. I'm not looking for attention.
But you will get attention.
No, it doesn't matter. I don't see other people. If someone talks to me, I just respond and then I'm on my way. Mm-hmm. But if someone is out there and they're doing that for a specific reason, or they're doing it because they're planning on leaving their spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, like they're putting their ducks in a row to get out of that relationship and into a better one. Because they're looking for something better. Mm-hmm. Me, I'm not looking for anything different.
But do you think if someone asked their mate, hey, you know, I noticed things are different between us, that they would say, oh, no, they would say, oh, yeah, you know what? Because I've decided I'm going to start putting my ducks in a row because I'm ready to leave you, bitch. They're not doing that. They're just doing the stuff. And then you just see it happening.
Yeah. If you're in the relationship, you see the stuff happening and then you discuss it.
Yeah. But that's why, like, let's say this time next year, you have started working out in a couple of weeks.
You're bringing me back into it again.
And then you change. I am bringing you back into it. You can't really honestly say to me, hey, Anna, yeah, I'm looking pretty good. I'm feeling really
I
confident
didn't
about
say
myself.
I was going to lose weight. I just
Hold
said I was going to
on,
bulk
just
up.
wait. I'm looking good, feeling confident about myself. I love these guns. They're pretty sweet.
My confidence level has always been high, so
I know,
that
but
doesn't make
it'll
a
be
difference.
different.
It's always been at 100.
And some chick or chicks hit on you that are like in my...
I don't care.
You don't care.
I don't care. I'm in love. Our relationship isn't like that. You're talking about someone who's in a relationship where there's all kinds of problems, and they're not even paying attention to their...
No, I'm not talking about somewhere where there's all kinds of problems. You know, a lot of these ladies...
What ladies?
That I know that have gone through this stuff, and I can see that they're headed for divorce. Mm-hmm. Before they know it. Like, it's over. They're not saying that there's problems, and they're not complaining about everything all the time. They're like, oh, everything's fine. No, it's great. I mean, yeah, we have these problems. We have this little problem, but you know, the little problems they talk about are little things. It's not huge stuff. And then it just snowballs into bigger things. Like one of the ladies, for instance, we went to a pool together, and she was always a tiny little thing, and she all of a sudden was not. That time we went to the pool, I was like, oh my gosh, she's gained so much weight. Like so much weight. And it had to be, you know, I want to say like I hadn't seen her for maybe 3 or 4 months. So in 3 or 4 months, she had gained quite a bit of weight. And she and her husband always worked out together. And then they stopped working out together. And
what was she doing instead?
She was busy because this was just a symptom of what was happening. Because before that, and this is when I knew it was over. Okay. A year before that, that's the one whose husband was like, you know, he lost his job, and she was a housewife, and she had always been a housewife. They'd been married for like 10 or 11, 12 years, something like that. She'd always been a housewife, and he made a mistake at work and stole something, got caught, and lost his job.
So he could never get another job?
He had a really hard time getting a job. The only reason he got another job because he has a friend who gave him a job. And so she said, you know, we talked about it. My husband and I talked about it. I'm going to have to go to work, and I'm just going to work part-time though, because he has this new job from his friend. I was like, oh, okay. And then she was a teacher, but she had already had her teaching degree. So she was just doing part-time. And so then she was like, at the end of the school year, she's like, oh, they offered me a full-time position. And I don't really know if I want to take it because I really don't want to leave the kids all day like that. And she's like, it's going to be hard, but I don't know. It's a big commitment. And then a month later or something, she's like, well, we talked about it. And my husband decided that it'd be a good idea for me to just work full-time and take that full-time position. And I was like, that's it. It's over. And then the next time I saw her, like 4 months later,
the dynamic in the relationship shifted.
Yes.
And she became the breadwinner. And she, you know, she took his pants off and put it on her.
Oh, is that right? Is that what you think would happen? So if I got a job tomorrow and became the breadwinner in our relationship, would it
put me into this?
I'm asking you.
I would love for you to make 5 times the amount as I did.
But what if I just made 1 time the amount?
If you made the same amount and you went to work, I don't care.
You don't think it would take, and you stayed at home and you did the house stuff?
I wouldn't stay at home.
No,
I have a great job. You can't put me into that.
No, okay, but
because if I left this job tomorrow,
he became more like he was doing more of the staying at home, and because he worked minimally. The husband, and he had a really hard time finding another full-time job. And then he got a full-time job after she got her full-time job, well after. But as soon as she said, yeah, he's going to be working part-time and I'm going to be working full-time, it's like, it's over. Because a couple of things. One, a lot of the times men, for whatever reason, I guess it's a kindness in a way. If they have wives who stay at home, they start to ask them to get jobs. They hint at it. They give subtle
Where are you
hints.
getting this from?
I'm telling you because I've seen it happen before in real life. That's why I knew her relationship was about to end. Because as soon as he was like, yeah.
Oh, you're saying he was putting his ducks in a row.
Yes.
He
as
wants
soon
to,
as he
wants to
wanted
make
her,
sure she has a job.
Yes.
And that she's making more than him.
More money than him. So he doesn't have to pay her shit.
And he can get
when they get
from her.
divorced.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think a good lawyer could fight that, but it doesn't really matter.
He was playing the long game. So
no, because if they had 10 years of him being the breadwinner.
No, it doesn't matter because this one has played. This is played out, Frank. So I already know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then I knew it was over, and then that's when like 3 or 4 months later we went to the pool together, and she had gained all this weight. She's like, "Oh, we don't have the time together we used to anymore because, working all day because she hadn't for like 12 or 13 years." And so she's like, "Yeah, working all day is really taking it out of me. I'm still getting used to it and still coming home and trying to take care of the house and take care of the kids and blah, blah, blah."
What the fuck was he doing?
Sitting around jacking it like men do. I don't know.
I mean, it sounds like he had shit that he wasn't doing.
I don't know what he was doing, but he wasn't doing her job.
Not being a house husband.
No. So, and I was like, okay. And then when I saw that she gained that weight, I was like, it's another one of the check marks. There's check marks. Another one had happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next check mark came. I talked to her a few months later. Of course, he fucked some other chick at his little job. He fucked some other chick.
His little job.
At his little job. Because
he fucked some other chick at his little job.
Because I think either it was a symptom of a couple of things. It's like, okay, I'm not feeling like the man of the house anymore because I'm not bringing home the bacon. And sometimes I might have to fry it myself. Ugh. So I want to feel like a man.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife doesn't have time for me anymore like she used to. We used to do shit together. Now we can't because she's busy. I'm going to go find somebody who has time for me and I can fuck her and feel like a man. And that's what he did. And so, of course, they broke up. Crazy. But that's what happens.
So you just described what I was talking about, though. Like he put his ducks in a row.
Yes, that's what I keep saying to you. So the ducks in the row, he was
already
putting the ducks in the row.
Doing that.
Yes.
So, but
she didn't see it happening. She couldn't see the writing on the wall. Once
Is she a
said
moron?
To me, no, because when she said, "Oh well, we decided that I should take the full-time position," I was like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" I have a girlfriend because this has seen it before. I have a girlfriend whose husband did the same thing to her. So I warned her. And I said, really soon after that, he kind of really didn't work again. And he wanted her to support him. And then he broke up with her. And so she's like, "Oh, no, I don't know. I'll think about it." And then, of course, she did it because men have a really great way of finessing their wives into doing shit that they want them to do.
People, I mean.
I don't know. He finessed her.
Mm-hmm.
And he got what he wanted. Putting, like you said, all the ducks in a row. He was already a really good-looking guy. He's very attractive and very physically fit. So he didn't have to get that duck. That duck was already there.
Sounds to me like he had already been fucking around for a while.
Why do you think that?
Because it sounds to me like he was just setting himself up to get divorced.
Yeah, but they got back together again because they have to
play around. I don't know.
I think a lot of people should not be married at all, ever. And I think society is going the way where people are not going to. The people that shouldn't. Some people don't like the idea of being with one person for the rest of their life. It makes them feel like they're in prison. And they should not marry anybody. They shouldn't, ever.
I mean, there's people that are self-aware, I'm sure.
Yeah, if they're self-aware, you know what? The idea of being with one person forever makes me feel sick. Don't ever get married. But if you feel like, oh, being with this person all the time makes me feel safe, It makes me feel like I have a connection with someone I don't have anywhere else in the world. And it's nice doing new stuff with this one person. You know, sex only has so many things you're going to do. And there's some things you're just never going to try. Most people do the same, like 5 moves or whatever. I don't know.
The same 5 moves?
And how many different people do you do the same 5 moves with? So
I know praying mantis. I know crouching tiger. I know
what's that?
drunken boxing.
No, what's that?
There's a monkey one.
There's the monkey one. No, what's the one from behind? What's that one called?
The one from behind? The rear naked choke?
No, the fluff and fold.
The fluff and fold. I was describing martial arts.
I know.
You're going into details. I know the fluff and fold. Anyways, well, I mean, if you're in a relationship, you just got to be open to doing whatever. I mean, you can't just be like no.
Well, okay. Maybe you can be like no.
Well, you can.
It's probably not a good choice, though.
That's when people start looking for the seedy underground.
Yes, the seedy
illegal.
Yeah, it's like, you know, all
$5 dick blows.
I just want to try. Yeah, $5 dick blow.
Dirty, seedy $5 dick blow.
It's gross if it's $5. I'm just saying.
Or
if you're going to get a dick blow,
or the other thing,
go for an expensive like $50, $60 dick blow.
If you're in a relationship
mm-hmm.
and your partner wants something out of that relationship, and mm-hmm. you're like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
you have to be okay
with them trying it with somebody else,
going to get that somewhere else. Because if you say no, and that person is very adamant about that happening, they're gonna go make it happen somewhere else. So you have to have an understanding mm-hmm. that says, okay, I'm just gonna tell you, if you want to do that one thing somewhere else, then you're gonna do that. But then that's gonna open up the floodgates for them to
fuck other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure somewhere there's long-term relationships where people just stop having sex with each other.
And there is.
And they just have a regular loving relationship,
yeah.
and they just don't. They
They're
have sex with other people,
friends.
or one person has sex with whoever they want, and the other person just is not interested in sex at all anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like that, but those are people who probably really truly love each other,
mm-hmm.
and they're just like down for whatever, like. They're in love with each other and they want their partner to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
But your partner wants to get a rear naked choke from some bitch in the street.
What's going to be a bitch in the street?
I don't know. And
if you decided you want to get
rear naked choke
with another man, yeah.
Person.
No, I'm saying man.
Doesn't have to be man or woman.
I'm saying man, like in Watchmen. Like that?
Why you got to put my name into it? You always got to put me into it.
Huh? Who do you want me to talk about? I'm just saying.
You can say if a person.
I don't think we could be friends anymore. You know what? You have to know about me, and I know you must know this by now. I'm super jealous, and I cannot share. Mm-hmm. I can't share anything.
Mm-hmm.
And since I can't share anything, I'm definitely going to share my favorite toy, and that's you. I'll never share you. Never. Not ever. Not once. No. You're mine.
So no $5 dick blows?
No. If you must, I don't want to know. And make sure it's a more expensive dick blow so you'll come home with like mouth warts on your dick. I don't.
$35.80.
I don't know how much they go for. Maybe we should do some street walking and find out. I know exactly where to go to talk to some strippers.
I'm good.
Not strippers. They're easy to find. I mean, street walkers.
You can find strippers anywhere.
Yes, you can.
They're all around.
There probably some next door. Just call out. Just go in the middle of the street. Hey, strippers!
You can go straight to their workplace.
Yeah, they're easy to find.
You don't have to stand outside and yell, "Hey, strippers!"
Like, yes, is there a stripper emergency?
Put out the stripper light. What is the stripper light?
It's one of those naked ladies that's cutouts that they have on the back of trucks.
I could just be calling a truck.
Calling a truck.
Up in the sky. Oh, it's a stripper emergency.
What is that?
Hose unite.
Hose you. What? They don't have to be hoes. They're performers, Frank.
Speaking of strippers, we should watch that movie.
What movie?
The Hustlers movie.
No
Why you
interest.
You said you wanted to see it.
I never said that. It must have been your other wife. It was not me. I have no interest in seeing that.
It was definitely this wife.
And definitely not interested in that.
Do you know what movie? The movie with Jennifer Lopez?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
You said you wanted to see
I
it
never
yesterday.
said that, yo. I never said that.
Oh, my God.
Not interested at all. That wig on, what's her name? Oh, I can kind of, her name is Constance.
Constance Wu?
Yes, that wig. Ugh, I can't even with that wig. I can't.
We should watch it.
I'm not interested in seeing chicks take off of the clothes.
I don't think you actually see them.
Yes,
get
you
naked.
do. They're all doing strip teases.
You see Constance Wu get naked with her titties out in her bush?
It's going to probably be a lot of it, not all of it.
There's probably little to no nudity in there.
Frank's like, well, let's see how much nudity is in this movie. Not enough for my taste. Fuck you guys. Yeah. But if I see stripper movies, I want to see everybody take off their clothes. So I don't want to see them kind of tease me with taking off their clothes.
So you don't want to see them take off their clothes?
I want to
see
see
them take off their clothes?
full naked people if it's a stripper movie. Just like, for instance, I thought was very peculiar about you. And I'm going to throw you under a bus. I want to know why you do it. When you watch a movie with sex in it, I want to see all the sex. I want to see the filthiest sex they can have in a movie.
Because it's never real sex. It's them pretending like, put it, do this, You can't see my face because I'm on radio, but it's never something that is titillating.
It's not titillating?
You can tell within the first 5 seconds if it's going to be like, oh yeah.
There's always that somehow that sheet is glued to women's tits.
Yeah,
like it
like
never.
if,
how
exactly.
How do you move around and that thing never moves?
Like when they show the after sex and the chick is pulling up, everybody's covering themselves with the sheets. I was like, people, you were just fucking. You saw each other
modest.
fully naked. No, they're sticking things all over the place.
Yeah.
So you can tell right away if it's going to be a realistic sex scene within 5-10 seconds.
Okay.
That's why
so do you pause on any? Do you watch any of them in movies?
If it's a good sex scene, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You can tell within 5-10 seconds if it's going to be realistic, and if it's somebody that is attractive.
Oh,
so
there's a few things. They have to be attractive,
and it has to be realistic.
So you're saying, did you ever watch the D-Train movie?
No, you told me not to. You said you were scarred for life, so why the fuck would I do that? I'm not stupid.
But watching James Marsden, I think that's who it was, fuck Jack Black in the ass, was insane and scarred me for life. And I love dude on dude action, and it was the worst thing I've ever seen. It's horrible. So I feel like it's a sex scene I wish I had skipped, because it was the opposite of sexy.
Yeah.
It was the complete, like, whatever you can do to make sex, like, make it go away, the feeling of, ooh, I'm turned on, it's the opposite of whatever that is. Like, unhorned. Dehorned.
Yeah. Like, you made it go down.
Flappy horns.
Like the idea of something that was getting ready to happen brought it up a little bit. Like I'm a little mini micro chub. And then you unchubbed.
Instant, like it went inside, maybe.
Instant
I don't know.
unchub. I had an innie. I had an outie and now it's an innie.
Oh, God.
So, yeah, there's no real nudity. And none of the stars get naked in that
What
movie.
did I tell you? Those broads aren't getting naked. They don't pay them enough.
Yes, I'm sure they paid them.
I'm sure they paid them a lot, but they don't pay them enough. They're not those kind of actresses. They're real actresses.
I don't think the movie is actually about stripping. I think it's about them.
I don't care about their criminal enterprises. And you know I hate criminals.
You haven't seen it.
I know what it's about. I watched the trailers.
That doesn't mean shit.
So is this one of those things I have to fall on my sword and do just because I'm married to you?
If you don't watch the movie with me.
I'm gonna have to go find someone else to watch
it with someone else.
Gotta find some other chick who wants to sit next to me with my head in their lap, watch a movie.
No, I don't think that's what it's not about stripping.
No, it's about crime.
Yeah, this wig is horrible.
It's horrible. See, now you're looking at it, you see that wig. Dude. Whoever did that to her needs to never, ever put another wig on another person. Because
on another person,
it is bad.
Never.
And it's like its own character. It's like it's another. It should get some sort of billing or something because it was definitely a character. It just like stole the scenes it was in. So all I can see in every trailer with her in it is that wig. Like, dude.
No. There's a really short wig.
Another
and then
one?
There's a wig with long hair behind it. I don't know. It looks horrible.
It looks horrible.
I don't want to slap that wig off her fucking head.
Like, what is it? Because at first, when I saw the first trailer, I didn't know it was her because of that crazy hair. I think it threw me off. Man. It frames her face weird, and I think she, like everybody else, lost like a lot of weight for the movie. Everybody looks thinner and different than they usually do.
She looks the same.
No, I think she looks different. So then when I saw her on a show talking about it, I was like, what? Is that her? What? Who did that to you, honey? Why? You're supposed to look sexier, not worse.
Honey, no. Their wig budget was blown on J-Lo.
Well, Miss Lopez said she must have the best hair and the best sexy outfits and the best cleanest pole. And you guys
cleanest pole. She needs a clean pole and better wigs than Constance.
What was it? A weird ask? Her weird ask is best wigs.
Yeah, her hair has to look
all
the best.
virgin Indians from the Virgin Rivers of India or whatever.
What? How do you verify that?
They check them just like T.I. checked his diary. Check them. Make sure they're virgins.
No, how do they... Not the person that acquires the hair. I'm talking about afterwards.
After? When you get the hair?
Yeah.
You have to have a certificate of authenticity.
Or like,
this one's been checked.
Bring the Indian chick in, or
let's
do you fly
check.
to India?
I want to see the hymen on this virgin.
I'm gonna fly to India. I'm gonna be there.
Make sure she was not defiled.
Do the virgin check.
Myself. Check for that hymen.
I'll pay extra for that. And then
it's a special thing. You get to deflower yourself after you get the hair.
A woman is gonna do all that?
Sure.
I do the deflower.
No, so
No, the woman.
The one who gets the hair.
The one who gets the hair.
You get to get the hair, and you get to fuck that virgin.
She has to break the seal so no one else can get that virgin.
That quality hair.
That virgin quality hair. Why is it Indian virgin hair?
I don't know.
Who?
I don't think they're actual virgins. I think.
What does that mean? You think it means something else?
Yeah, I think it means something else. I think it means like it hasn't having chemicals in it or any dying or anything like that. Not actual virgins. How do you verify the virginity of these Indians? That's what I need to know.
Indian Virgin Hair Company. Like, what does this mean?
I feel like I told you I can't get drunk anymore. This is my third cranberry vodka.
That's not enough. You're not putting enough alcohol in there.
You told me it was too much. The first one you're like, well, that's just a lot of vodka in here.
Okay, yeah, you were right. You were 100% right.
I'm always 100% right. Okay. Per Kurt.
Relax. Relax, Miss B. Okay. So someone asked, what is virgin Indian hair? It's 100% virgin Indian hair is the hair that comes from Indian, described as 100% human hair that has never been chemically processed by manufacturers. Chemically unprocessed means that the hair has not been dyed, bleached, or permed to change the color or texture.
Uh-huh.
So
So
it's okay if
which hair would you prefer? I think I want them to have virgin hair, but I think you should also get their virginity. That hair costs a lot of money. What?
You should take their virginity.
It's expensive hair. That stuff is very, very expensive. I don't know, but a good wig.
What does one have to do with the other?
I feel like you should get. I feel like anything that costs a lot of money, there should be sex performances that go with it. Everything, like the car I just bought.
You get a dick blow with that?
Needs. I don't have a dick, but somebody needs to come over here and do some sex stuff to me. I don't know what I want. Maybe one of those rear naked chokes you keep talking about. I don't know. I don't.
We should create a move called the rear naked choke.
We already have that move, but I'll tell you which one to do later. That's what I want. If it costs anything in the world that costs more than $1,000, you should get sexual favors.
Which is everything.
I want it all. Every time you buy a house, somebody has to come over and like finger you or something.
You need a water heater? Oh, you have to finish me off.
I'll buy the water heater.
After the install. Does the installer have to finish you off? Or
yes.
do you bring in a specialist?
I want a specialist, I think.
Or is that like part of the training?
No, because those guys that came to our house and did our hot water heater, I don't want any of them to touch me. So yes, a specialist has to come in. You get to pick them too. That's the one. Beautiful. Es muy bonita.
So when you have,
I want him to come over.
Es muy bonita. So when you have your service-based business,
everybody
banged
gets in some sort of way.
A service.
Someone's getting serviced
as part of their
services. You know what? I feel
service is part of the services.
Yeah, you feel like you're being fucked by me. You're gonna get fucked by me. Well, I won't do it, but I'll send somebody.
So not just a massage. It's an option for a happy ending.
Some sort of a happy ending.
Anything over $1,000 should include a happy ending.
Yes, we should make that a law. I think prices will drop. I'm just saying.
That'll be a movie. That'll be in the what's that movie? The Idiocracy 2.
What are you trying to say?
Idiocracy 2.
You think that my business plan is so stupid? It's in a movie about stupidity.
I'm saying it sounds like something that would be part of that movie, like Costco is the size of a country.
Yeah.
Like that, and they use Gatorade as their water.
So you're saying to me, let me get this right. If, for instance, when we got the new fridge, you got a free 10-minute blowjob.
It was under 1,000, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But if it was over 1,000.
Yeah, if it was over 1,000, you feel fucked. Don't you think you'll feel a little better if someone came over and just I don't know, did some stuff to you, just sucked on a nipple for a few minutes or something? I don't know.
Sucked on a nipple for a few minutes?
It has to be. It depends on how much you spend. It's like $1,000 to $3,000. It's simple stuff. It's everything.
There should be a release of some sort.
It's harder to get to with girls.
Not if you have a specialist.
Oh,
if that's their job to do all day, every day.
I feel hot. There's a specialist that does this?
There's specialists that do anything.
Is he available?
There's female specialists and there's male specialists that can get you there in minutes.
Minutes? That sounds... Oh, I think I need a minute. I'm going to have to get another drink.
They know what to do.
They know the buttons to push?
Yeah, it's their job. Not unless you hire somebody who just started today.
Well, that could be fun too.
But if it's not if it takes it. Not if you're in there for 2 hours and still nothing has happened.
From 1,000 to 3,000, you get it's like increments of time go up. It's like 10 minutes.
The time doesn't matter.
3,000 to
it's getting you there.
8 or 9, you get a little bit more time. No, I want more time. I actually like a lot of time. Don't you know this? I like a lot of time.
Yeah.
I want I want a good hour. So I don't know how much money I have to spend for that. If I can get more than that, I'm happy too. So,
but if you have the specialist that can get you there,
I don't care. I like the time.
2 to 3 minutes.
No,
because that's all you're looking for.
No, I'm not ever.
Is a quickness.
Really
you're not trying to get all like
that.
Get all romantic. And
yes,
shit.
I want someone to romance me for an hour or two.
No.
If when I buy my next car, I want 2 hours of romance.
2 hours.
Yeah. Yes? Is there a stripper emergency?